Come back for the site? I need Med X this time. Another chem, another window to look through.
Why Med-X?
It's what the site wants. Med X is a painkiller. Strips away a lot of feeling and lets you float out into the mystery of it all.
Yeah, here you go.
Oh, it just makes everything feel good, don't it? I'm starting to see clearly. You're on the trail of the man who took your boy. I see a house locked up tight, chains put on by a smiling shark. But there's another way. I can see it. A key. Lost and forgotten. Fallen down below. Search the chairs beneath the house. They hold the secret. I can't. I almost thought I couldn't breathe there. Heart's beating like no tomorrow. Gonna need to rest.
In our last episode, we rescued Detective Nick Valentine from Skinny Malone, a mob boss who is holding him captive inside Vault 114. After freeing him, we followed him back to Diamond City. He wants to meet with us inside his detective agency to go over the details of our case. At last, we can engage his help in finding Baby Sean.
Ellie? Are you here?
Nick? Oh God, it's really you.
Well, it's hard to mistake this mug for anyone else.
You keep laughing at death. Someday, death's gonna laugh back.
Not as long as I got a few friends to back me up.
You saved Nick, this agency, and my job. Thank you.
Metal detective delivery at your service.
Happy to be in a niche market, that's for sure.
Can we get started on my case?
Oh, of course. There's just a small clerical thing we need to clear up.
About my reward.
I always gotta ruin the moment with money talk.
Hey, happy to do it.
Yeah? Go diving into scary pre-war ruins all the time then, do ya? Here. I know an amount wasn't on the table when you went out to find him, but you deserve a reward. Plus a little something extra. You know, if you're looking for work and don't mind putting on the detective hat, Nick sure could use a new partner.
Whoa. One case at a time, Ellie. Our new friend needs our help first. All right, let's get down to business. Take a seat. Make yourself comfortable.
The little something extra is a new outfit to match Nick Valentine. She gives us a worn fedora and a faded trench coat. Well, since we're in the middle of a case right now, we might as well look the part. And now we have access as Nick's partner to help him in his other cases. We'll find them unlocked in his office after our conversation. But first, onto the details of our case.
When you're trying to find someone who's gone missing, the devil is in the details. Tell me everything you can, no matter how painful it might be.
My wife was murdered. She was trying to keep them from taking Sean, and they just...
It's okay. You don't need to say anything more.
So, we're talking about a group of cold-hearted killers, but they waited until something went wrong to resort to violence. What else can you tell me?
We were in a vault when it happened. Vault 111. It was some kind of cryo facility.
You were on ice, huh? More importantly, you were underground, sealed up. It's a lot of obstacles to get through just to take one person. Anything else you remember?
There was a man and a woman. They didn't say much. but I remember they called me the backup.
So we're talking a small team. Professionals. The kind that know to keep their lips tight when they're on the job. Not sure what the backup means, though. Anything else you remember?
We're looking for my son, Sean. He's less than a year old. Why would anyone take him?
Good question. Why your family in particular? And why an infant? Someone would be taking on all of his care, and a baby needs a lot of it. Well, that confirms it. This isn't a random kidnapping. Whoever took your kid had an agenda. There's a lot of groups in the Commonwealth that take people. Raiders, super mutants, the Gunners. And of course there's the Institute.
Who are the Gunners?
High-end mercenaries. No job too brutal. They're in the running as likely suspects. They wouldn't be the ones pulling the strings.
Wait. Super mutants? What are they?
Big, green, muscles on muscles. In other words, hard to miss. I think we can safely rule them out.
You think raiders might have done this?
I honestly doubt it. They can barely organize themselves, let alone pull off something this complicated.
So you think this institute is responsible?
Well, they're the boogeymen of the Commonwealth. Something goes wrong, everyone blames them. Easy to see why. Those early model synths of theirs strip whole towns for parts, killing everything in their way. Then you got the newer models, good as human, that infiltrate cities and pull strings from the shadows. Worst of all, no one knows why they do it, what their plan is, or where they are. Not even me. And I'm a synth myself. A discarded prototype, anyway.
You're a prototype?
As far as I know. Never seen any other synth like myself. There's the older ones that are dumb as rocks and all metal, and there's the newer ones that are almost human. I'm somewhere in between.
You don't know anything about them? Really?
Some kind of security setting strips or blocks out those memories. And it's not just me. Any synth that gets trashed, left behind, or escapes the Institute has the same problem. Probably some kind of failsafe.
Don't lie to me, Nick. You're one of them. They made you.
Yeah, I've heard it all before. You're a freak. You've got something to hide. Blah, blah, blah. But the truth is, people smart enough to build something like me are smart enough to cover their tracks, and arrogant enough to throw their unwanted trash into the Commonwealth to fend for itself.
Either way, I need to find Sean.
You're right. The speculation is getting us off track. Let's focus on what you saw. What did these kidnappers look like?
I'll never forget that voice. Low and rough. Like sandpaper across your face.
Not much to go on, but a tough and commanding voice can get someone pretty far in the violence business. What else?
The man who killed my wife. He had a handgun. I didn't get a clear look at it. But that sound.
Could have been a large caliber revolver. Huh. I'm starting to get a clearer picture of the kind of man our perp is. Anything more you can tell me?
The woman was dressed in, I think it was a kind of hazard suit. The man had some sort of metal brace on his arm.
Maybe some kind of improvised armor? A lot of hired guns do that to look tough. The hazard suit is interesting. Not many mercs can afford something that fancy. What else do you remember about them?
One of them came right up to me. Bald head. Scar across his left eye.
Wait. It couldn't be. You didn't hear the name Kellogg at all, did you?
Oh, yeah. I heard their names, their home addresses, and where their diary keys are hidden.
All right. Calm down.
No. They never said their names. Who is he? Do you think he has Sean? I might have. Everything was foggy.
It's way too big of a coincidence. Ellie, what notes do we have about the Kellogg case?
The description matches. Bald head, scar, reputation for dangerous mercenary work, but no one knows who his employer is.
And he bought a house here in town, right? And he had a kid with him, didn't he?
Yeah, that's right. The house in the abandoned West Stands. The boy with him was around 10 years old.
There's no way that could be Sean.
Yeah, big difference between an infant and a 10-year-old, but that doesn't mean we're on the wrong track. He could have a son of his own. Or maybe he's turned kidnapping into a bad habit. In any event, they both vanished a while back. No trace.
Maybe it's another kidnapped kid.
Yeah, either that or he's got a son of his own. Not a comforting thought in any case. Both of them vanished a while ago. Haven't been heard or seen since.
You said he lives here? He's still in town?
They both vanished a while back, if I'm remembering right. But that house is still there.
It's Sean. It has to be. Somehow.
Don't jump the gun on me. You said you were looking for an infant, remember? That's over 9 years difference by my count. Look, maybe he has a son of his own. Maybe it's someone else's kid. Either way, they both vanished a while back. Let's you and I take a walk over to Kellogg's last known address. See if we can snoop out where he went.
Security doesn't really go to that part of town, but you two should still be careful.
I always am.
This Kellogg had a 10-year-old kid with him? How could that be Sean? Sean was taken as a baby. We only just got out of the cryopod at Vault 111. There's no way for the child to have aged 10 years in that time. Are we on the right path? With that, Nick Valentine heads out the door. We could follow him immediately, but first, we'll see how his office has changed now that he's back. Heading to the filing cabinets.
You've really gone through a lot, haven't you? Hope you and Nick find that monster.
We see a new case file lying on top of them. It's the Marty Bulfinch case file.
The Marty Bulfinch case. Marty was Nick's partner. Emphasis on the was. He must have been some kind of desperate to come to us for help after all this time.
With that, we get Marty Bulfinch's holotape added to our Pip-Boy, and we can listen to it.
Nicky, you old bucket of bolts, it's Marty. I know it's been a while, but I came across a little mystery I thought might get your circuits firing. And you remember that ugly grasshopper statue on top of Faneuil Hall? Turns out it's got a note in it. A note written by the son of one Shem Drown. I don't expect that name means anything to you, but the guy was a coppersmith. Way back when folks did shit like that. Apparently, this note leads straight to the old guy's stash. I don't know what's in it, but I'd sure like to know if it's still there. I'm gonna go do a little recon on the hall. If you decide you want to get the team back together, you let me know.
With that, we begin the quest, The Gilded Grasshopper. I covered this mystery in my video, Who Was Shem Drown? In that video, we track down Marty Bulfinch, and we find out exactly what's hidden inside The Gilded Grasshopper. On his desk, we find a new case file, Earl Sterling's case file. Case, Earl Sterling's disappearance. Client, Vadim Bobrov. Another disappearing act to unravel, Earl Sterling, 25-year-old bartender at the Dugout Inn. One of the owners, Vadim Bobrov, noticed that Earl hadn't been into work for a few days. Security was called in, no investigation of course. The Institute took him, is the unofficial word about town, like always. Vadim came into my office half drunk with a sob story about how he and Earl went way back, and that he just can't believe that Earl would get snatched up by the boogeyman. My gut says he's right. Earl didn't have any enemies, at least none with motive enough to kill the guy. Not living with anyone either, so I'll have to see if Vadim or someone else at the Dugout Inn has his keys. I'd rather not have to explain to security why I was picking the lock on Earl's door if I slip up and get caught in the act.
The Earl Sterling case. Apparently Earl just up and disappeared one day. No one's seen him since.
And with that, we start the quest, The Disappearing Act. I covered this quest as well in my video, The Bobrov Brothers and the Dugout Inn. In that video, we learn all about the Dugout Inn and the Bobrov brothers, and we solve the case of missing Earl Sterling. Earl was the one, incidentally, who wrote a letter to Piper that we read on her terminal, talking about how women didn't like him, and he was considering changing his ugly mug. When ready, we can head out the door, whereupon we find Nick Valentine waiting for us. As soon as we get close, he begins walking off towards the West Stands.
I didn't want Ellie to hear this, but I think you should know. Everything I dug up about Kellogg before his disappearance is bad news. He's more than just a mercenary. He's a professional. Quick, clean, thorough. Has no enemies because they're all dead. Except you. But 9 to 1 odds says he's our man. It's more than just you identifying his distinguishing features. The MO is all him as well. Leading a small team to kidnap a baby and leaving one of the parents alive for later? Not many mercs in the Commonwealth can pull that off.
We climb a staircase on the western side of town and begin to walk south. We hear the rusting, aged metal of Diamond City creak and groan under its own weight, and eventually we cross a catwalk to arrive at one lone house. Nick Valentine moves towards the door.
Here we are. Keep an eye out, will you? Let's see if I can get this open. That's one heck of a lock. Got something to hide, Kellogg? Why don't you give it a try?
But he can't pick the lock. We can move forward to try.
Lock's really strong.
But it's a master lock. Now this is pickable. We could skip this entire next section of the quest by picking the lock. However, if we can't pick it, we can head back to Nick.
No luck? Guess we'll need to find the key. See that platform in the distance, near the city entrance? That's the elevator to the mayor's office. Why don't you go ask around there? I'll stay here and see if I can jimmy this lock. The mayor's office is near the entrance of the city. There's a platform that should take you up.
Looks like we need to head to the mayor's office to see if we can purloin a key. We've been there before. When we first arrived at Diamond City, we took an elevator outside of Diamond City to arrive at the mayor's office. This time, we'll head from within the city. To do that, we move back towards the marketplace and then take a ramp up to the south. We find arrows pointing the way to a service elevator, or a window washer elevator, as it was likely used before the war, and we can take it up to the mayor's office. Upon arrival, we find a familiar friend interrogating Geneva.
Why doesn't the mayor come out of his office, huh? He's afraid of talking to the press? I bet if I said I was with the Institute, he'd come running.
Do you ever think maybe you could get a man's attention easier if you use softer words, honey? Maybe shout a little less?
Oh, that reminds me of this article I'm writing about the mayor's affair with a certain airheaded blonde. Oh, look who it is. What brings you to the mayor's office, huh?
What are you doing here, Piper?
Nuh-uh. Not until it's in print. You can read all about it in the next issue.
Or if we pass the charisma check,
Trying to find out why the mayor happens to be meeting with the same suspicious-looking courier every other week. Not from any settlement I've ever heard of. And not from a caravan. Always in and out before anyone has a chance to talk to him. An errand boy from the Institute, maybe. After this article comes out, that's what everyone's gonna be asking.
Need to see the mayor about something?
Really? You came to the mayor's office to see the mayor? Who'd have thought? Fine. Keep your secrets. Sooner or later I'll find out. I always do.
None of your business.
You know, that's the kind of talk I hear right before a big story of mine goes into print. I always find out. Sooner or later.
I'm trying to track down a man named Kellogg.
Interesting. That's the guy who bought the house in the abandoned West Stands. Had that kid.
If you are done crowding the reception area, Miss Piper, the mayor needs to make time for more responsible citizens.
I was just leaving anyway.
The mayor's receiving visitors as long as they aren't members of the press. Did you need help?
Who do I talk to if I need to find a key to a house that's been locked up?
If you're talking about a property that the city has seized, we only have one on the books. Mr. Kellogg's old house. You'd have to ask the mayor directly if you want the keys.
So I can just head in and talk to McDonough?
Go right ahead. His office is open. He likes to make time for everyone when he can.
I need to talk to someone about Kellogg's old house in the West Stands.
Mr. Kellogg's residence? He left town a while ago. We foreclosed on the property and locked it up. If there was something belonging to the man that you have a claim on, you could ask the mayor to hear you out. No guarantees.
Never mind. Sorry for bothering you.
Have a nice day.
with that, Geneva heads inside the mayor's office. It's getting late. She's probably heading to bed. There are a couple of ways we can go about getting this key. With the mayor and his staff retiring for the evening, we find Mayor McDonough's terminal unguarded. If we are lucky or stealthy and we don't find any guards nearby, we can hack this terminal. It's only locked with a novice lock. Inside, we find 4 entries, and the first, appointments, Here we find 3 options in the first city council meetings. Note to Geneva, clear my schedule of any council meetings for the foreseeable future. See this note from the last session. The city council meetings are suspended for the meantime until there is an emergency. The council expresses full confidence in the mayor's ability to handle all city business. Yikes. Sounds like the mayor's getting a bit authoritarian. And the next one, Piper, public occurrences reporter. Note to Geneva, under no circumstances should Piper be allowed in this office. If she continues to press on this Institute crusade of hers, there will be consequences. We need some way to curtail the paper's popularity with the people. That poison she's selling is turning everyone against each other, and I won't have it. Is he against the paper because he cares about the people, or is he really hiding something? In the next one, couriers. Note to Geneva, please be sure to send any couriers from Mr. Io into my office as soon as they arrive. Also, our usual need for discretion in city affairs goes double for this matter. So Piper was right. He is meeting with mysterious couriers. Who is this Mr. Io anyway? Backing out, we can read notes on city business. Here we find 4 options in the first, water purifier. Security has petitioned me again about gaining control of the water purifier. They don't believe Shane Kowalski is up to the task. Nonsense, I say. The boy may be young, but free enterprise is an important part of our Diamond City way of life, and I won't have him interfered with. Yes, his concern for safety regulation is a bit lapsed, but that can be dealt with in the usual ways. All right, I've got to say I don't mind the mayor's choice here. Let the young boy sell water, even if it's a bit dirty. And the next one, security office. Crime across the city is manageable. Need to remind all new security officers to delay any investigations into kidnappings. We don't need to rouse further hysteria into the ridiculous notion that synths are replacing our citizenry. Why, there could be a panic at a critical moment. What if super mutants attacked and people were more concerned about who is a synth than protecting our city? No. This kind of talk needs to be suppressed as the sedition it really is. I mean, I'm not one for suppressing talk, but he's kind of been proven right here. On our first visit to Diamond City, a man almost killed his brother because he thought he was a synth. In the next one, Power Noodle Stand. Note to Geneva, please respond to any petitioners about fixing Takahashi with this prepared statement. Takahashi is a Diamond City cultural institution, and the mayor's office will not be responding to any notion that he is in need of repairs. While we understand that not everyone understands him as well as a born and bred Diamond City resident, we cannot allow such an iconic figure of our great city to be altered in any way. Again, I agree with the mayor here. Leave Takahashi alone. And in the last one, the wall. Note to Geneva, my current draft of the speech. This should settle things in the minds of the people. I'm sure of it. And here we find a draft of the speech that he gave that we heard when we first visited Diamond City. Since we watched him give the speech, we don't need to read this again here. Backing all the way back out, we find house foreclosures. Note to Geneva, I've been informed that the man living in the mostly abandoned West Stands has left Diamond City and will not be returning. Please go through the usual foreclosure procedures, then put a copy of his house keys in the safe. Well, there we go. Kellogg's house key is in the safe. Backing out, we find safe control. We can use this to disengage the lock. Backing out of the terminal, we can loot Kellogg's house key from the box safe on the ground right next to his terminal. But this is just one of the ways we can get Kellogg's key. Another way is to head into the mayor's room and talk with him. We find him sitting on his chair, about ready to go to bed.
Ah, yes, I remember you, our new arrival. I wish I was in your shoes, getting to see our glorious city for the first time. How can I help you?
Nick Valentine wanted me to see you.
Did he now? Some investigation, I assume? You two aren't trying to get me into hot water now, are you?
Sorry, never mind. I'll come back later.
Oh, very well then.
I'm looking for a key to a house in the city. I assume the mayor's office has a copy.
Well, we don't have every key in the city. Where would we put them all? Besides, every citizen in my city has a right to their privacy. Now, if we did have a key, only the owner can ask for it. That's my final word.
A man named Kellogg used to live in this city. I need to search his house.
I see. Well, whatever reasons you have, I take my citizens' privacy very seriously. Even after they've left. I can't allow you to invade someone else's home. That's all there is to it.
So that's it? You're not going to help?
Security is part of what keeps Diamond City above the petty squabbles and misfortunes of the Commonwealth. I can't betray that for anything.
I understand. You have rules. Maybe for the right amount, you can bend them a bit.
What? How dare you? I'm the mayor, for God's sake, not some thug for hire.
Fine. Thanks for nothing.
I know it's disappointing, but I have to think of all the people of Diamond City, not just the needs of one person.
Please, Mayor McDonough. This man Kellogg kidnapped my son. I need to find him.
I see. I'm sorry, but however horrible the crimes this Mr. Kellogg may have committed, your word alone isn't hard evidence.
Or if we pass the charisma check.
Oh, of course. I will do everything in my power to help you overcome this horrible personal tragedy. I remember Mr. Kellogg. Didn't like him myself. Paranoid. Never talked to anyone. I doubt you'll find him. But I insist you take the key to his old house. It's been abandoned, though. I'm afraid this whole thing might be fruitless.
Well, he's definitely trying to instill hopelessness in us, but he does give us Kellogg's house key. However, there is another way to get the key from Mayor McDonough without passing the charisma check. If we approach Mayor McDonough from just the right angle and at just the right time, and if our stealth is high enough, we can pickpocket a copy of the key from his inventory. He's carrying it with him for some reason. But there are yet other ways to get this key. Instead of Mayor McDonough, we can focus on Geneva. She's usually at her desk, but right now, she's in her bedroom, sleeping. Heading that way, we could wake her up. And she opens with the same dialogue that we went through earlier. However, we find additional dialogue options here.
Come on. Can't you help me yourself?
And if I could, why should I?
I can feel the gears of bureaucracy grinding me up already.
Like grist in the mill, honey. Good luck.
I don't have time. I need that key now.
Why is finding this key so important to you, honey?
Never mind. Thanks for nothing.
Have a nice day.
Maybe we can reach an agreement? I just happen to have a pile of caps here.
A gift? For me? Oh, how generous. Oh, there I go again, leaving a key out on my desk and forgetting to put it back.
And unlike the mayor, she can be bribed. Or we could try to persuade her with a difficult red charisma check.
Just trust me. It's important. You have my word.
You really thought that would work, didn't you? I don't think so.
But if we pass it...
Well, you do have an honest face, and it's not like there's anything important in an abandoned house. I can't believe I'm doing this, but what the hell? Here you go, honey. Now, don't do anything in that place I wouldn't do.
Or we can try an easier yellow charisma check.
Please. All I want to do is find my son. The man who owned that house kidnapped him.
I've heard the sob stories before, so save them.
But if we pass it...
Well, you do seem like a sweet guy. All right. I'm just going to leave this key on my desk and forget I put it there. Your son's lucky he has a father like you. I hope you find him.
Now, unlike the mayor, she doesn't give us the key. Instead, she places it on her desk, which is hard to do from her bedroom, but I guess they didn't expect us to talk with her unless she was at her desk. At any rate, we can find it on her desk this way. Or another way to get the key is to pick the lock on her desk. In this way, we could get another key to Kellogg's house. Those are all the ways we can get Kellogg's key from the mayor's office. And so with the key in hand, we can head back to the elevator and take it down. But there is one other way to get a key to the house. And Mama Murphy gave us a clue. What was it she said?
I can see it. A key. lost and forgotten, fallen down below. Search the chairs beneath the house.
Fallen down below? Search the chairs beneath the house? Heading back towards the western stands, if we go underneath the catwalk, we find a bunch of chairs beneath the ramp leading to Kellogg's house. And only if we got the prophecy from Mama Murphy, we find an option to search the stadium chairs. Kellogg's house key is added to our inventory. It was lying here all along. Looks like Kellogg dropped his own key. Maybe that's why he left. He couldn't find it and suddenly his security was broken. This option only appears if we got the prophecy from Mama Murphy. If we come here at any other time, we don't even find an option to search the house. No matter how we got the key, once it's in our possession, we can head back upstairs to talk to Nick.
Got the key? All right, let's head in. You do the honors.
And with the key, we can open the door.
Mama Murphy.
We're gonna need a heavy hitter for the site to keep working, kid. Buff out ought to do it.
Buff out now?
Surprised a frail thing like me wants a muscle chem? What if I told you I used to pack a pair of arms thicker than both your fists put together? Ripped a Raider's head clean off once, I'll tell you. Buff out doesn't do much for me now, except help the site do its thing.
Here. Go easy.
Wow. Forgot how strong that stuff is. Whew. Okay. Here it comes. You walk into a house. The man who owns it has secrets. But he's no fool. He hides everything in a closet with no doors. But I see him, kid. He's sitting down. Brought out the red toolbox and the coffee. Then he reaches beneath where he's working, and the closet opens. Oh, God. Sorry, kid. Old Ticker just lurched there a few times. I'm fine, really. Just need to stay still.
Let's take a look around. Kellogg must have left something behind.
Nick begins rummaging through Kellogg's old stuff, and we can too. It's a tiny little place. It's barely big enough for the two of us.
Place seems small to you? Figured a guy like Kellogg would think big.
Yeah, my thoughts exactly, Nick. But as we get to his desk, something jogs our memory. What was it Mama Murphy said to us? A red toolbox on the desk, reaching underneath it?
Nothing here. Did you check out that desk?
Oh, Nick, you thought of it too.
I'm telling you, something's not right. Look for anything out of sorts. Switch. A button.
Reaching under the desk, we see a big red button, and we can punch it.
Well, that's one way to hide a room.
The wall slides aside, and Nick enters.
Well, look at this. All of a Merc's favorite things.
We find shelves against the eastern wall stacked with boxed foods and other goodies. There are ammo canisters, a duffel bag, and scrap littering the place. We find a couple of stim packs on a side table, but then we find a chair and a table in the middle of the room. Looks like Kellogg was a bit of a smoker, and this was his smoking nook. If he had a kid with him here, I suppose it makes sense that he would smoke in a room separate from the child. And we see that he left these cigars unfinished. Lying next to an ashtray, we find 2 San Francisco Sunlights.
Gwinnett Stout beer, 44 caliber bullets, and cigars. San Francisco Sunlights.
Interesting brand. Won't lead us anywhere on its own, though.
What? The great Clockwork Dick is stumped?
It's Synth Detective, jackass. If you're gonna be that way, you might as well get the make and model right.
We'll never find him.
Damn it, drop the doom and gloom act. We can work through this.
Any suggestions, Nick?
What about dog meat? Commonwealth mutt like him can track a man's scent for miles.
He suggests Dogmeat, whether or not we have him in our party. But if we are currently running with Dogmeat as a companion, Dogmeat has his own response.
Well, Dogmeat seems eager for the job. Why don't you let him have a whiff? See if he picks up on the trail.
But if Dogmeat's not our companion, Nick tells us to go get him.
I wonder if Dogmeat could pick up the scent.
Say, that's not a bad idea. Some dogs out there in the Commonwealth can track a man for miles. Why don't you go fetch him and let him have a whiff? See if he picks up the trail. Before you head out, I know this is personal business. If you have to face Kellogg on your own, just say so. Besides, you already have plenty of company. We can't all go sniffing through the Commonwealth after one man.
Any words of wisdom?
If Kellogg really is the one who kidnapped your son, then he's dangerous. But so are you. You don't need to be afraid of him or anything else the Commonwealth throws at you.
I don't know. I might need your help on this one, but maybe I should go on my own.
If you need me, just come knocking. If not, then the next time I see you, I hope it's with your son, safe and sound.
I want you with me on this, Nick.
All right. Let's get that bastard. This is your show from here on out, okay? You say jump, I'll say how high.
Goodbye, Nick.
Hopefully not forever. I want to see you and your kids safe and sound when you get back. Good luck. Anytime you need help, just come knocking.
Incidentally, if we never got Dogmeat's name from Mama Murphy before this point, both Nick Valentine and the sole survivor refer to him as Dogmeat, and after this conversation, his name will no longer be Dog. Nick doesn't explain how he knows Dogmeat, and I'm not exactly sure what prompts Nate to refer to him as Dogmeat either. This entire conversation goes a bit differently if we've never met Dogmeat before.
There's gotta be someone who can help.
Yeah, let me think. There is someone I know. A specialist of a kind. Always goes his own way, but I can get him here.
Any suggestions, Nick?
Guess it's time to call in a favor. I know a specialist. He's never in one place for long, but he'll show up if I ask.
Who's this friend of yours, Nick?
Worked with him a few times, but he only likes certain people. Got a feeling you'll get on, though.
I don't know about this, Nick.
Let's give my pal a chance.
There's no way this friend of yours can help.
Well, unless you got a map to Kellogg in your pocket, this is the best we got.
If he can help, let's do it.
All right, I'll send out the signal. You're not gonna hear it. The frequency is high, but he'll pick it up. Okay, I called him. Let's wait outside.
No matter how we get to this point, we now have to step outside. If we have already met Dogmeat, we find him standing here waiting for us. Which is weird because in that scenario, Nick Valentine didn't send a signal, which he said we wouldn't be able to hear, though we heard it anyway. So there's no explanation as to how Dogmeat magically appears here. However, if we never met Dogmeat, and Nick Valentine sends his signal...
there he is. Prompt as always. Ready to get to work, Dogmeat?
Dogmeat, huh?
Hell of an animal. Doesn't really have an owner, but he's always ready to help out when he's needed. Go ahead. Let him sniff that cigar. See if he can find our man.
If all I needed was a dog, why'd I bother saving you?
Just consider getting me out of that vault a finder's fee. Give Dogmeat a whiff of that cigar. See if he picks up the trail.
This isn't funny, Nick. How's a dog supposed to help us?
Your faith in me is really starting to become inspiring. Look, there's no hiding anything from that nose. Show him the cigar. He'll track Kellogg down.
This is your friend? He's a dog.
That's right. A Commonwealth mutt like him can track a man's scent for miles. Show him the cigar. He'll pick up the trail.
Dogmeat. Get the scent, boy. Got something, boy? I'm trusting my family's future to a dog. That's it. I'm officially crazy. Get Kellogg, boy. Take me to that son of a bitch. Take me to him, boy. Take me to Sean.
With that, we complete the quest, getting a clue. We follow Dogmeat down the ramp, and we begin the quest, Reunions. Dogmeat takes us outside of Diamond City, and once through the main gate, he veers southwest. We follow him down the road until we leave the city completely. Eventually, Dogmeat makes a noise.
Looks like you've got a regular bloodhound on your hands, sir.
Kellogg must have stopped here. Search around, see if we can pick up the trail.
He howls and takes us to a small lake. Here we find a chair, a crate, and a cigar. It's a San Francisco Sunlight.
San Francisco Sunlights. Kellogg's preferred brand, all right. Okay, boy, let's track him.
Dogmeat is back on the scent. He takes us south, and then at some train tracks, he veers west. Following the tracks a ways, we get ambushed by some mole rats. We continue down the tracks until the tracks pass over a road. Here we find a staircase that leads down to the road, and crossing the road, we find a destroyed turret.
Getting close, I hope.
And a body lying on the ground. We find blood spatter under the body that pops up when we mouse over it, but we can't actually inspect this. No one has any comment.
Looks like another one of Kellogg's pit stops. Keep your eyes open.
Then, nearby we find some bandages.
Bloody bandages. Dogmeat can track this. Okay, boy, let's track him.
Dogmeat takes us up some stairs on the other side of the road. Here we bump into some wild mongrels. He then returns to the train tracks, and we follow them northwest. Eventually, we bump into a yaoguai. After killing the yaoguai, we follow the tracks north. We pass by a switching station inhabited by more mongrels.
That about takes care of that.
And here, Dogmeat takes us into a shack and down some stairs. He howls when we reach the bottom of the stairs.
One step closer to finding young Shaw.
And we move west down a tunnel. Here we see that Kellogg must have taken a break. There's a patio chair here with a beer and an ashtray, but no cigar. Looks like Dogmeat can't pick up the scent from the cigar, but maybe he can smell the beer?
Gwinnett Stout. One of his creature comforts.
I'm telling you, that nose is second to none.
What do you think, boy? Enough to go on?
And he can. The scent continues west. Following the road, we arrive at a bridge. Moving through all of these ruined cars, we get ambushed by ghouls.
This should be fun! Out of the trucks away!
With the ghouls dead, we arrive on the other side of the bridge to get swarmed by even more.
What's all this? Everyone's... Oh no, I'm not done with you.
The road turns west. As we follow it, we hear a voice.
Damn. Hell of a party happened here.
Tracking known mercenary. Exercise extreme caution.
It's the ruins of an assaultron, but it appears to still be somewhat functional. Maybe we can talk to it.
Alert. Critical signs. Alert. Critical signs. Attention, assailant. Lower your weapons immediately.
What have we here?
Error. System corrupt. I can't feel my legs.
You really got taken apart.
Critical systems non-functional. Hostile human. Too powerful.
Just tell me where Kellogg went, Tin Can.
Identity of assailant. Kellogg.
This had to be Kellogg.
Signature confirmed. Assailant Kellogg. Known associates.
What happened here?
Error. Operator deceased. Threat level Omega. He killed us.
Oh, it's just dreadful what Kellogg did to this poor thing.
We're still on track. Hopefully he's not much further.
And we find another cigar.
Another one of his stogies.
Well, poor Codsworth was horrified by what Kellogg did to the Assaultron, and with the cigar, Dogmeat picks up the scent again. We follow the road west until it veers north, but then Dogmeat leaves the road entirely. We move northwest up a hill. We walk through the wilderness until Dogmeat arrives at a chain-link fence. Here we find a bloodied bandage.
This could be it, sir. Let's just hope Sean is safe.
Getting close. I can feel it. Look around.
What do you think, boy? Was this our man?
Looks like Kellogg got wounded somehow, for from this bandage, Dogmeat again picks up the scent. He brings us through the wilderness, north, towards the ruins of a town. We follow this road north, until at last, we discover Fort Hagen. And here, Dogmeat stops.
Is this the place? Is he in here, boy?
I knew Dogmeat would sniff our man out. Let's you and I take it from here. Give our four-legged friend a break.
I believe that nose has earned our pup here a holiday. He did his part, and now it's time for us to do ours.
Codsworth is right. Dogmeat brought us to where Kellogg is, here at Fort Hagen. Now all we need to do is find a way in and disable any exterior security. We'll tackle that in my next episode. I publish new Fallout videos each and every week on my channel, so if you don't want to miss the next one, be sure to subscribe and to click that bell notification button. If you have already, but you still feel like you're missing out on YouTube notifications, consider following me on Twitter at Oxhorn. I update Twitter manually with every new piece of content that I publish. I've got a shirt shop with completely unique designs that you can't find anywhere else. My designs come on shirts in a variety of men's, women's, and children's sizes, and in a wide array of colors. You can find them on other products as well, like smartphone cases, pillows, posters, mugs, stickers, prints, etc. So if interested, you can find a link to my shop in the description below, or you can click here. If you like what I do and you want to support me in a more personal way, consider becoming a patron on Patreon or a member here on YouTube. YouTube members get little badges that appear next to their names in the comment sections of my videos and access to ox emojis that they can use in my video comments and in the live chats of my live streams. But more than anything, I'm just so glad you're here watching this video with me today. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you soon with more brand new videos.